Guys, welcome to today's video. My name's Kat. As always, thank you for stopping in. Today we are doing something a little different. I am gonna let you in on my little secret for fall, Halloween, baking. We're gonna make some banana bread with some kind of spicy undertones. I thought this would be really fun to share with you guys because this is one of my favorite breads. This is kind of one of my favorite, like, put it in a little basket to give away to a friend kind of deal. So I thought that I could just share this recipe with you. So before we hop into this video, don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more content. We got a lot of Halloween content coming down the pipeline. So if you're into that, don't forget to be subscribed to this channel. I'm gonna kind of go over what you are gonna need, and then I'm gonna take you into my kitchen and we will blend it all up, bake it all up, and go ahead and eat it. But what you want to have, I have like a bin of all the things that we need. But you want 2 to 3 medium-ish overripe bananas. I put these ones in my freezer so they would turn this way, but if they've sat on the counter for a little bit too long and look like this is what you want. You don't want them to be firm to the touch. You want to kind of feel them be mushy on the inside. The next thing you want is a 1/3 cup of butter. This is salted butter. You can use unsalted butter, totally up to you. If you use salted butter, don't add salt later on. That's just like a rule of thumb for me. You will need some baking soda. This is key to make it rise. You will need a pinch of salt if you use unsalted butter. If you use salted butter, I don't add any extra salt in. I like to use this Himalayan white salt. I use it in my grinder. You will also need some sugar. Now, if you want it to be a more sweet, you use a 3/4 cup. I'm just using some granulated sugar. I think it's Rogers. You will also need an egg, a good size egg. This is like a medium size egg. You will also need 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and you will need some flour. I'm just using all-purpose baking flour from Robin Hood. You will also need, and this is where the autumn full-time taste comes in, you will need some cinnamon and you will need some nutmeg, and these are key ingredients. And I use probably 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon and a 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. It's kind of like a to my eye situation, but that's kind of about right. You will also need a baking pan. This is the one I like to use. It's called Temptations Presentation Ovenware. It is for like Valentine's Day. My Halloween one broke, so we kind of have to cross holiday here. But this is one of my favorites. It's just kind of a regular size bread loaf pan. And you will either want to line this with parchment paper. I spray it with some good old Pams. You also want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. I will also put all of the ingredients in a screenshot, so get ready to screenshot it right now. And the instructions, as well as down below. So if you guys have any questions, you can kind of reference those 3 points and we can go from there. Another thing is if you want to put like walnuts or almonds on top, you can. Few people in my family do not like it when I make the banana bread with walnuts and almonds on top, but you can always do that, and a little drizzle of honey if that is what you choose. So you can make this kind of your own. So if you know you like a certain flavor, kind of add that in there. You can also use your KitchenAid. I will be using my KitchenAid. If you do not have one, don't freak out. You can use hand beaters. I would recommend an electric hand beater. If not, you can beat this by hand with a whisk. You'll just need to make sure you got some arm strength and you're in for a workout today, but that's okay too. So let's go into the kitchen and start building our bananas. So hey guys, we are in the kitchen. So I've got my KitchenAid stand mixer here. I'm gonna put my paddle on it. That's what the paddle looks like. Just like that. And what I'm gonna do is take the bananas out of the peels and put them in here. See how they're nice and like mushy? They're not They're definitely not like a good eating banana. So I'm gonna put 3 of these in. And now I'm gonna blend it on like a 2-4 kind of speed. So you want to blend them enough that they're kind of smooth, not really chunky. And the more ripe the bananas, the easier it's gonna be to create that kind of smooth texture. Now you wanna take your 1/3 cup of butter and melt it. This is super, super key to this recipe. If you put it in, if it is kind of room temperature and still solid, it's gonna be a mess. So make sure you melt it. I melt it for about 20 seconds. It's not in the microwave. It's not too much, and you don't kind of want to overdo it. So that's kind of what it's looking like. Pop that in there. And now I will blend it up, but this is where you could put a little bit of salt in if you want to. Obviously I'm not, because I use salted butter. If this is your place in the recipe to put some salt in, you do so. And now this is our point where we're gonna put a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda in. I'm just using this Arm & Hammer. So this is 1/2 teaspoon. And that's just gonna go in there like that. You're also gonna want to put your 1/2 cup of sugar or 3/4 cup of sugar, depending on how sweet you want it. I just put a 1/2 cup in. That's my preference, but if you like to have things a little bit sweeter, go ahead and add that 3/4 cup in there. And it's just gonna go in here as well. And now we're gonna crack an egg in there. Remember, this is just 1 medium-sized egg. That's just gonna go in there like that. You wanna make sure that you've got a really, really good all-natural, pure natural vanilla extract. I quite enjoy this brand of it. This is the Aztecia, and I think I got it from my local grocery store. And you wanna put 1 teaspoon in. This is what a teaspoon looks like. For those of you that don't know or just learning how to bake. I pop that right in there with everything else. Now remember when I was saying cinnamon, I did mention how much I used, but this is how I measure. Like, I just know that that's kind of the generalized amount. You could also put in some nutmeg. I quite like this. It obviously gives it a nice nutty flavor. And I just do 2 to 3 taps of nutmeg, which would be about a 1/2 teaspoon. And now is when you want to put in your flour. You want 1 1/2 cups of flour, all-purpose flour. And that's just gonna go in here as well. This is a super, super easy recipe, by the way. Anybody can do this. And now you're just gonna blend. So once it looks like this, it's a little bit thinner than pancake batter. And I've only mixed it for about a minute, 1.5 minutes. You do not want to overmix this recipe, but it is such an easy recipe, you really can't screw it up too much as long as you follow the instructions. So I have sprayed my baking pan with some Pam vegetable spray. You can line it, do whatever you normally do. I just prefer to vegetable spray it. Now I'm just gonna take my batter and put it in there. I usually just even out the top with my spatula as I just did. Now you're ready to go to the oven. Make sure your oven's 350 degrees. You want to bake it for about an hour. You want to check it at about 50 minutes of baking. So my oven's on 350. And we will see you later. I always put it in the middle of the oven, by the way. Timer, 60 minutes, 1 hour. We'll see you guys then. So there's about 7 minutes left. That is what it looks like. I can't wait, it smells so good. So this is our final product. This is our banana bread. Still a little warm. You'll want to let it cool, obviously, before you eat it. You can also package it up really nicely and give it to a friend. If you're looking for a jam for your banana bread, these are some really good pairing options. None of these are sponsored. These are just some of my favorites, and they're local to actually BC. This is pure peach jam. I really like it on banana bread. I also like Saskatoon jam. So if you're into that, but a little bit of butter is really good too. So you guys, I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Thank you all for stopping in. My name's Kat. As always, it's great to see ya. Don't forget to be subscribed to this channel for more Halloween, autumn, fall, baking, spooky, all sorts of content coming down the pipeline. And we'll see you guys in my next video.